Dave Mercer.
I'm Matt Pangrac.
Welcome to the Cull, a weekly sport fishing debate show. And something that gets thrown around all the time, Panger, is the Bassmaster Classic greater, or is Angler of the Year a greater accomplishment? And I'm all in. The Bassmaster Classic trumps Angler of the Year every single time, as far as I've got it figured out in my head.
You want to call Gerald Swindle up and ask him that? I think Gerald Swindle's one of the top. He's a top 5 guy going right now. He has 2 Angler of the Years. He does not have a classic. Look at how much the Angler of the Year has added to his legacy and his legitimacy. You talk about the anglers themselves will say, hey, the Angler of the Year gets a lot more respect than a classic. Three good days and you can win a classic. You know who can't win an Angler of the Year? A college angler, an open angler. There's only 100 on the Elite Series that can win an Angler of the Year. Heck, I have a chance to win a classic. The guy next door has a chance to win a classic. The dude in the Oklahoma City club has a chance to win a classic through the Bass Station. The Angler of the Year is so exclusive. It's so difficult because not only do you have to get there, then you have to beat the best who have also gotten there. So while the classic might be the shiny diamond on the ring, the band holding the diamond on the ring is the Angler of the Year, and you can't have the ring without the band.
I think that's where anglers have to go mentally. I think I think everybody grew up dreaming of winning a Bassmaster Classic. They didn't dream of winning Angler of the Year, although that's a thing, you know. But I think once you make the elite,
but you didn't ask the question. Wasn't Keeper Cull who dreamed of winning Classic versus Angler of the Year? That wasn't the topic.
You're not letting me get to my point, Panger. Let me speak. So you grew up dreaming of doing that. I think when you get to the Elite Series, yes, amongst the anglers, Angler of the Year is more prestigious. It's a season-long event, but it's no different than winning the regular season in the NFL. Year after year, you see people go there. Like who won the regular season in all of Tom Brady's Super Bowl victories? Nobody knows. Nobody remembers because it doesn't matter to the general public. It's the one thing in our event, in our sport, where everybody's eyes in the entire industry, I don't care what you do, you are peered into a TV somewhere watching the Bassmaster Classic go down. By the time you go to bed that night, whether you were at the event or weren't at the event, if you're an angler, you know exactly who the new Bassmaster Classic champion is. I think that anglers say that it definitely amongst their group, it gets a lot more respect. But man, why don't you go ask, while you threw out Gerald Swindle, who is one of my favorite people on the planet, why don't you go ask Roland Martin, who has 9 Angler of the Years and never won a Bassmaster Classic? His son Scott's goal is to hand that trophy to Roland on the stage when he gets it done, which would be one of the most wonderful moments in the history of sport. We'd all be bawling. It'd be incredible. But I mean, how different is it when you talk about the greatest angler and stuff like that? How different does that debate come for Roland Martin if you add just one classic victory to it?
It becomes more legitimate, but at the same time, Roland Martin is still relevant because of his Angler of the Year titles, and those happened 40 years ago.
Yes.
And I think if you're in the sport and you're looking at longevity in the sport, an Angler of the Year title assures you longevity in your league and validity more than just one classic title. There's been one-hit wonder classic winners. And I think what you're talking about more is how they're perceived, what they do with that classic title, whether they just take it and they move on with their life, or whether they treat that like the crowning achievement and go on the circuit, and how they handle the classic win. Just like with the Angler of the Year win,
Yeah.
But as far as security, you'll always be relevant if you win a classic. I'm just saying you will always be relevant, maybe not as famous, but more secure and more respect amongst your peers in the industry if you've won Angler of the Year titles.
Just look at the way people are introduced. I mean, Gerald Swindle is a 2-time Angler of the Year. Incredible accomplishments. The moment he wins a Bassmaster Classic, he becomes the 2023 Bassmaster Classic champion and 2-time Angler of the Year. There's an and in front of those. And I just think it trumps all. It's on top of everything. I mean, it's in compared to any sport. I mean, the championship is everything. It is the moment. And yes, mathematically, it's a lot easier to win a Bassmaster Classic than it is to win an Angler of the Year. You have to catch him more days to win the Angler of the Year. But if you want to be the crown, you want to be on top of this sport, you want to be on every single ad in this magazine, you need to win the Bassmaster Classic.
I still think there's a lot of ads that probably have Gerald Swindle in that magazine.
Oh, there's a ton. There's a ton because Gerald Swindle is an incredible angler and he's a 2-time Angler of the Year. Here's the problem. People have got into this stage where they feel like saying one thing means you have to slight the other. Winning Angler of the Year is incredible. To watch Swindle do it twice, to watch Paulnick do it twice, Aaron do it 3 times, Kevin do it 7 times, like to watch all these Angler of the Year titles, it's incredible. I'm just saying right now, if you're a kid and you want to set a goal, win the Bassmaster Classic. It is the Super Bowl of our sport. It is everything, and it's what everybody remembers. If you ask the average angler to give you the last 10 Bassmaster Classic champions and then give you the last 10 Angler of the Years, I'll bet you'll get a lot more that will be able to give you the last 10 Classic champions.
I 100% agree with you on the popularity contest, on the notoriety for the Classic, but I'm sticking with my guns as to the Angler of the Year title being, I don't want to say robust, but it's more of a fulfilling title, especially behind the scenes.
Yeah, well, I mean, fulfilling is sure. I mean, a long walk on the beach with some good conversation.
What was the original question?
I just said that the Bassmaster Classic is a greater victory than Angler of the Year.
Right.
Keep or cull.
And I would agree with that in some circumstances, but not in others. So if that's an overarching question, then I'm culling that, because there has to be some asterisks next to that. You're all in on the keep.
Okay, I'm all in the keep. Let me ask you the question another way. Panger, I got a genie.
You can't. That was the keep or cull question.
I got a genie, and I'm going to rub the little thing, and he's going to give us a wish. You get to pick one thing to win in fishing. What is it?
Money. No. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Cull. Let us know what you think. Keep or cull the Bassmaster Classic.
Sometimes silence speaks very, very loud. Let us know what you think.